Good. Let's start off, of course, by adding charts to our screen. First one, Urban Outfitters. I also want to make sure to give this YouTube link. Yes, so it should be on YouTube. Let's go to Urban Outfitters. They are one of the charts, one of the tickers that are having their earnings after hours here. Let's see, kind of keeping up. Are you joining? What's up, Farouk? What's up, Stussy? Welcome everybody. Let's take a look at these earnings. As you know, I'm not really too interested in the numbers, but I am very, very interested in the price action. So we want to go to extend the trading hours here, and this should be coming in any minute. Oh my God, it is Jay. What's up? What's up? It is Farouk. So we have Urban Outfitters, and I believe the second ticker that we're supposed to keep an eye on is VSAT. I think this is a competitor, one of those Elon Musk companies, right? What's up, Porterhouse, Sir Michael Ward? How are you doing, sir? The first thing that I want to do here for VSAT is mark off the level where I think this thing is heading. I'm going to just mark that out for a moment. I'm going to keep it kind of basic here. And I want to do the same thing on Urban Outfitters, kind of quickly see where are we. Looks like this thing has been going sideways in a crazy range. That is a very interesting chart. Looks like from a bigger perspective, we do have a low, a high, a higher low, and a higher high. So I'm willing to be bullish on that, or at least to look for long options. Let's take a look. For some reason, I'm not able to right click on my chart here anymore. That is weird. Let me go to VSAT chart and then maybe put in the second one like this. We have VSAT and we have Urban Outfitters. And now I'm able to click my charts again. Okay, that's wonderful. I'm just going to mark out a couple of levels where I'm interested, and then we can see if we're coming to them. So this is a level where I'm interested. I'm just going to quickly mark that out. This is a level where I'm interested. Let's go to the 5-minute time frame and let's go to after hours settings. Let's see. Technology is not really wishing to cooperate, as is often the case. Actually hate to see it. I think we'll have to go to just one chart at a time then. That's probably going to be the solution. Session, extend the trading hours. Let's look at VSAT first here. I think I have 18.08 as a level of interest, and then 15 all the way back down there. So let's see if we're going to see any price action here. Let's go even to a lower time frame probably. On the 1 minute, looks like we're not seeing too much already, right? Oftentimes you get these huge moves straight off the bat. I'll go to our Urban Outfitters as well. Let's go to the 1 hour. Yeah, at least this seems to move a little bit. Nice. I'm also going to mark off for this Urban Outfitters the 41.9 level. That seems to be an important resistance to me. So if we could maybe do something like this either tonight or tomorrow, that would be a nice bullish continuation scenario for Urban Outfitters above 41.9. Porter, you say VSAT's got a sexy chart going. Let's see. Is that the case? Is that the case, my friend? Isn't this the thing that quenched that pass on earlier this month or so on his stream? I think he was talking about this one. Might have been wrong though. Anyways, just gonna keep on these levels. Ooh, there is Urban Outfitters. 41.9, the moment you get above that, this thing is just flying. Yeah, that's almost impossible to get in on. Would be very careful with this from here on out, but that's happens very, very quickly. The moment you get above that level. I do want to have an idea for Urban Outfitters where it could go to, but let's be very careful here straight off the bat, and let's look at maybe a lower time frame candlestick, such as the 5 minute. Seems to me like 41.9 is a very nice level that we just marked out. That, well, if we come back to that level, tap it and turn it into support, that would be obviously way, way better than doing anything here up in the air. I'm going to go to a higher time frame for a second and see where this is going. So this is very, very likely going to continue to 45.68. These two equal highs in here. Um, I'm seeing bullish propaganda here on my trading view pop in. Urban Outfitters, blah, blah. Looks like positive numbers. Let's see. So 45.68 is the level where I think we're heading, and 41.9 is the level where I think we could come back down to find support. That is basically as simple as I can keep it. And I'll put this chart way bigger because this VSAT thing still yet has to make any moves. This here is interesting though. I think personally, as long as we're not tapped this level, it makes sense for this to come down and then to go back up. It's very unlikely that we're not going to tap 45.68 at this point. And however, everything is possible. And up in here is obviously not a good long position anymore. That is way off in terms of risk to reward. You're way too overextended from the level of interest here. But this could get very spicy. I'm very interested in that. Like I said, on the weekly time frame, right, we have higher highs and higher lows, so that's pretty significant. Actually, based on the weekly time frame, I kind of zoom in here for a second, right? This is an important level. I'm gonna mark this level off because that is the bottom end of a fair value gap. And then let's go back to the 5 minutes. So 41.9, but it could come back down to 41.76. So that's even a little bit more conservative. Going from the weekly, so from the 5 minute to the weekly, I could fine tune my level here a little bit to have it more accurate. But yeah, this would really be ideal all the way back down to trap everybody who is piling in long and then hold this exact point. Then see a rotation from there where you get below, you get back above with a 5 minute close. Those are good long entries. Something up here, definitely not now. By the time that this candlestick has closed, we can take a look at a couple of other things as well. Let's go to the 1 minute again. It's a nice and significant candlestick. So at this point, right, I'm just here not to read you the numbers, but more so for the price action perspective. Even from a 1 minute perspective, I'm just going to mark out that level. And this is immediately what I'm thinking. Basically, that squiggly line scenario. If it doesn't come lower, then getting above 44.62 and holding there for a move to 45.68. That's the goal. That's the move. And we always need to have some candlestick sprint so that, oh, and there is VSAT. So this is hitting the first level of interest here, 18.08. Let's see if we can close back above it on maybe a lower time frame, such as a 3 minute. And notice this VSAT, I think, Porter, you said this chart looks sexy, but my level of interest, so if it does not get back and close back above it, I seriously consider $15 here. So that is why that's all the way back down here. So trading after hours and especially earnings, it's incredibly illiquid. You have to be very, very quick on the ball, and I don't suggest doing it. But looking at price action will help you understand where the stock is going to open up tomorrow. And it's also a good practice here. So see how price gets below that, closes below that. There's no reason to touch anything long. It's simply falling. Now, the moment it hits 15.02, I will kind of, for whatever paper trading purposes, that is where I would hit bids. That is where I would hit bids with a tight stop loss, especially if it gets below, immediately gets back above. That's where I'm very, very interested now. Why? Because I was starting on a weekly time frame, right? And I'm looking for my weekly level of interest, not just something here. So notice how I'm not looking at support at any of these 5 minute lows. That's all my understanding. I quickly went to this chart. I moved on this level, and anything in the middle here is doomed not to hold, essentially. Checky this, yeah, 15. I'm waiting for. Yeah, I think we can agree on that, Porter. At $15, this might be a very good scalp. And And this is also something that I think is going to play out exactly the squiggly scenarios, um, the squiggly line scenarios. So to 45.68 with this thing and to 15 with that thing. We can trade the momentum in the moment, the bounces and snapbacks, or the safer, longer recovery into valuation. I absolutely try to trade all three as chaos. Absolutely, because that is a very nice way of saying it. I like to keep like my edge strong on low time frames, but yeah, to trade this is that seems to be very stressful right now. So we really need to see a break and hold above this 44.62, then go to 45.68 for Urban Outfitters. This thing right now, just looking at it, right? You have a level above you, level below you, and we're somewhere in the middle. So not really too interested here. What I would say though, right, when I see a big red candlestick like that straight off the earnings, I would be interested if they can get back above all of that. So back above all of that, I would mean, well, let's get this thing back above like $19.25 and then play more upside continuation. Sure, that I can live with as well. From here, that looks like it is going to continue to 15. Looks like Urban Outfitters also needs to find a higher low. Maybe we can take some fibs here, at least the after hours fibs. I'm just gonna add in something very standard here, like a 618. Actually, this is not allowing me to do anything. That's weird. 618 is probably gonna line up here somewhere. Yeah. Let's see, is there anything else that had this earnings today? Anybody with tickers in the chat? Something else that has some good volatility? There's room for another chart. We can put in 3 charts here together. Also seems like tiny engulf off of the 15 level. Yeah, exactly. Not even filling bids there immediately, but waiting for a nice confirmation. Maybe an engulfing candlestick is a good place to start. Yeah. Now, I do also, right? I don't want to just bank on that holding. So I also want to be prepared for if it does go lower, where is it then going to? And to really get that answer, I'll look here. I'll just mark off some levels without going into too much depth. That's the level that I'm going to mark out here. This is something that I'm going to mark out. That is something I'm basically trying to look for holes in the chart where it would make sense for the price to come back to. 1495, 1378, and 6.8. Those are some free levels for everybody to look at and put alerts on. So see, by going to a higher time frame, right? I'm actually not even convinced by 1502. I would like 1495, then get back above the blue line. So really get below both of them, spend some time below both of them, then get back above both of them, hold here, and then play it back up into some of these, yeah, fair value gaps that this is going to leave behind. So maybe a move back into 16.7 as a first target. So instead of longing here, catching a knife, my mind says I'm going to long from lower after I'm seeing clear signs of a reversal. And then you can still like kind of see that you will see like 11, 15, 20% bounces back up for something like this as well, right? Even if it goes straight down, it is going to give very nice bounce opportunities. It's just very difficult to scalp long in a downtrend, especially if you're like beginning, because what we need to see is deviations from lower. So I'm actually going to put this thing on my watch list, VSAT. That is worthy of putting on my watch list. I will put that on there, and I will put some alerts on these particular levels, such as 1378. Actually, the chart is not allowing me to do anything, so I'm just going to put some manual alerts there. 13.8, I'll create an alert there. And like, there's always a possibility that things just look like incredibly far and incredibly hard. Even in that situation, you would not want to be like left without an option. So I'm going to be as open-minded as believing that, yeah, maybe they black swan you, and then you're looking at a $6.8 VSAT, and if you're completely like dumbstruck and like, oh god, that is impossible, yeah, then you probably won't get to buy that. Urban Outfitters, what would you look at that? They got the liquidity below this wick, and it looks like we're going to see that now. So even in terms of time, right? Even in terms of time of the squiggly line, it would be nice if we could see like the retest exactly here, like in 6 minutes or so. That would be something. Um, and this is really, if it's holding still like that without having hit the levels of importance below, it's really incentivizing to take positions while it's by no means optimal here. So this thing is on the elevator down, and it's basically taking a pit stop somewhere, but the next elevator down is loading. For this thing, the next elevator up is loading, like that 45.68. I'll just draw on a magnet because that's really what that level is. Sometimes my trading view acts up. Looks like we're acting up right now. Normally I can draw a nice magnet there, but picture a magnet at 45.68. And here you can picture a magnet below $15. So this, it's taking some time, but that's all good. Here and then somewhere around here. Let's see if I can MOD Jeff Bezos in the chat. Not please. Tol. TOL is something maybe with I'll put that on here as well. So really what I want to do is I want to look at these stickers. I want to have my levels of interest, a good grasp, and kind of see is it worth putting on my watch list. That VSAT is worth putting on my watch list, especially for those levels lower down. Or right, anything can happen tomorrow, whatever. If this thing gets, for whatever reason, back above 19.25, yeah, it probably runs well back into the 20s. Let's take TOL. Toll Brothers, yeah. Was that today as well? Looks like it. I'm gonna make these charts a little bit smaller because realistically, all I need to do is wait until price gets to my levels of interest, right? Gonna make that smaller, gonna make that smaller, and we can take a look at Toll here as well. See the extended trading hours. Want to put my chart on. Looks like this is the okay, what do we need to get above? Above 131, this probably runs higher. But that's so above 131, but where to? Whew, I don't know what this chart is or what this does, but just by the looks of these candlesticks, that looks like an incredibly illiquid thing. Actually, could be completely wrong. On the weekly time frame, it looks quite significant. Looks like we're at all-time highs actually for this thing. Yet on the lower time frames, the liquidity seems like we're trading like a meme coin on Solana. I'm gonna put in some levels below current price. So 127.77. That's one thing that I'm gonna look at, and then 123.63. So Toll Brothers, you want to see 131 flip into support, or you want to come down to one of these levels lower down and essentially look for a confirmation to go long. I do have to put this on my watch list as well because this is something that is making all-time highs, and a chart that is making all-time highs is basically very, very easy to play most of the times. So let's see on a weekly even, where are we? We're at all-time highs. We've hit an all-time high last week at 135.37. Yeah, it's a nice uptrend. Seems likely to continue, but it's also leaving tons of areas below here where, like, if I were to just mark off a couple of prices where I would really be interested, like from a longer term perspective, maybe those are just some of the levels where I'll be looking for a bounce. Now, is this actually something that is paying dividends? That's also an important caveat. It seems like it is. And it definitely has to be on the watch list. I'm interested. I'll have to look during regular hours for some good trading setups on this, but this would be nice if this could give like a very serious correction back down maybe to 106. That would be most ideal. And then by the time we get back to 106, everybody is convinced that it's over. And at that point, we go up. Let's take a look here at Urban Outfitters if we're really going to see that retest on the exact minute that the squiggly line suggested it. That was at 21, so that is this minute. So that would be now. If we could come back down to this blue line now and then reverse up, I think we can call that job done. Let's see. Are we coming to it? No, I don't want to mess with my lines. Want to leave them exactly as they were. So VSAT, obviously, that looks like we're not going to move anywhere anymore tonight. We just have alerts. And Urban Outfitters still think that that probably continues to 45.68. And then Toll Brothers, I mean, above 131, you could look for some upside continuation, maybe a scalp back into 133. But like to me, honestly, that's not going to be worth it. A $2 move on an equity like that. Um, but yeah, let's go to a lower time frame. Actually, out of all these things, looks like the Urban Outfitters one is after all the most interesting one in terms of price action after earnings, of course. All the others seem quite lackluster. Also, not the sexiest tickers or the sexiest stocks that are having their earnings today. It would be way more a gift what Ethan is doing tomorrow, going over the Nvidia earnings, but hey, we make do. Good. We can stay on this for like another 10 minutes and see where it's heading. So just gonna keep these three on. Let's see on my on YouTube if there's anything else that has earnings today. Normally I have my earnings calendar. Let's see. Looks like quite a lot. Let's take a look at LOW as well. Actually, definitely keep Urban Outfitters on. Now that would be nice, right? If we could just follow the squiggly line scenario here off of the blue line. And everybody in here, Stussy, Porter, Vicky, Farouk, was quite obvious that that blue line is an important one, right? At 44.62. So in terms of a percentage move, it's not even that much, 2.37%. That would be ideal at least. Also going to be interesting tomorrow, probably from 10 to 11 a.m., right? I'm going to be trading in the Discord. So from the 10 to 11 a.m. hour, that is probably when I want to be taking a look at these stickers as well, especially the day after earnings. So day after earnings between 10 11 a.m. New York time, that's probably you heard your name. I don't get it. No, I was just pointing to that you're all here watching me put these squiggly lines on. Looks like we've hit time and price according to the line, but apart from that first big candlestick, doesn't immediately seem like it's gonna run anywhere. Same thing with VSAT here. So 1502, I'm gonna keep that in mind. 1378. Those are really the two first ones, the first two levels of interest. Yeah, Toll Brothers, I probably will have to get out of my chart. This is not looking like it's gonna move anything. If anything's gonna move, it's probably gonna be this Urban Outfitters here. See some new people in here as well. Welcome to everybody, of course. Just taking a look at earnings calendar if I see any other names that still seem like interesting. But most of it seems to be for tomorrow with Nvidia and Snowflake, of course. Those are going to be very, very interesting earnings. I mean, I'm gonna just wait and watch for 5 more minutes here, but well, there's very little to say other than that I'll have my alerts ready for tomorrow below current price and above current price. I just want to zoom out for Urban Outfitters for a second here. So 45.68, and then we're looking at 47.29. This does look very good. Let's go to 5 minute again. Looks like rather slow, but yeah, this likely continues up. Need to run. Talk to you later. Talk to you later, Farouk. I'll probably see you tomorrow, right? Between 10 and 11, at least between 9:30 and 10:30, I'll be here in the Discord. Good. See you then, man. Have a good one. I'm actually gonna keep VSAT off my chart as well, and I'm just gonna keep an eye on Urban Outfitters here for a little bit longer. VSAT is definitely something that I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole right now. So I'm just gonna mark out these two highs here again, and that's really what I'm looking at, what we're probably gonna get to, especially because the second high has not taken that first high. That would lead us into more like detailed information, but that's a main driver. That's a main level to get to. And so on the 1 minute, we're looking at basically the open price of this one here, right? So that is ideally what it would hold above. Now, after hours is going to be incredibly illiquid. Just the way that these candlesticks are jumping, basically every two candlesticks are leaving behind a volume imbalance. None of these candles are really opening where the past one closed. So would actually even be better if we don't hit 45.68 anywhere now, so that can be a target for tomorrow. So really what I want to do, UTC -4, I can already kind of mark out for tomorrow. Let's see, that's going to be right. Well, need to go on a higher time frame than a 1 minute, but that will be from 10 to 11. So from 10 to 11, we're going to be watching to get back into a fair value gap or an order block before taking a position, if we get one. Let's see how it holds. If it gets below this here, 43.8, I would imagine that it's probably going to run back to where this candle started. And then from the weekly time frame perspective, next level to get back to would be, let's see, I'm going to mark this off here, 40.79, right? Let's go back to the 1 minute. Pleasant dreams. Let's see. Low azotol. What else? Man, all these names here. The only thing that I remotely know of that seems to have earnings today seems to be Macy's as well and XPEF. But I think that was earlier today, so that's not after hours. That was pre-market. Some of the other things. So Sky, yeah, that's one of these stickers that I also saw on earnings today. So on the 5 minute. Let's see what this basically did before we go. Skyline Champion Corporation. I'm gonna mark off some levels here where I'm gonna be interested. I'm gonna put some alerts on them as well. So 71.89 is gonna be one level. Actually, the first level that I'm gonna be interested in, and then 64.4 the next one. So let's see how far we are getting. I'll actually also put this on my watch list. Maybe we get to 71.89 by tomorrow, and then we can play it in the New York AM window. So for anybody that's going to be there with me, I'll add this to my watch list as well, Skyline. And so they've had earnings as well after hours, and it looks like a very illiquid thing as well, just some random dots here, so almost no actively traded. And it looks like someone is on my StreamYard, or at least here making noises. So I'm gonna keep 71.89 on my radar for especially for tomorrow if we could get below it and then back above. Looks like this is just oh Nikki. Oh Nikki with the hot mic. I'm sorry, Nikki. I never knew that I would have to mute you in here, but I had to do it. Do apologize. Feels so wrong to mute Nikki out of anybody. How is it possible? Um, this is just really let's see on the volume. Is there even any volume at all on this? My God. So a huge move down on absolutely no volume, like 128 shares exchanging hands on a big candlestick like that. That's really nothing. So the volume on this is so damn low that it's almost, well, wouldn't be responsible to play anything here, especially while you're not during regular trading hours. You sure it wasn't Stussy? Yeah, Stussy is also very much notorious. So Sky, let's see what else. Alvo was also another one that was having earnings. All these charts looking like they absolutely have no volume to it whatsoever. This chart in particular, that looks like something that I'm definitely not going to be touching. So back to Urban Outfitters, that looks way better. Go to the 5 minute here. Back to the 1 minute. Yeah. Stussy, yeah, it is what it is, man. You are notorious for these things. I do appreciate you, man. Every time we have a stream, you're always the first one there. Sunday, on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday. When there's a PB stream, there is Stussy first and foremost. Price action though seems to be really boring, just apart from one nice big green candle that is basically shown the probable direction of where it continues, that this is really nothing to keep staring at. So with that being said, probably gonna end the StreamYard right here. Had a long day today, so just happy to mark off some levels of interest to play from tomorrow between 10 and 11 a.m. Like we've basically been doing also on prior weeks, right? One of these prior weeks, I remember Donut was one of these stickers that had after hours earnings. All we've really done was mark off levels of interest, and the day after, we had a nice position of power to play from it then. So hopefully it's going to be the same for either Urban Outfitters or VSAT or the Stoll Brothers tomorrow. We'll definitely take a look at it. But for now, I'm going to end the StreamYard. And I'm also